Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How's it going? We are back here live for another coffee chat. So excited to be here. My name is Salandia Hammond, aka Suham, baby, with loanswithsuham.com. And I have an amazing guest here this morning. Her name is Sheena Mullins. She has been dubbed as the wholesale queen, and we're going to find out why, because she's going to tell us how to get into real estate investing without zero moolah, baby. Sheila, welcome to the broadcast. How are you?
I am wonderful, Sue. Thank you for having me. How are you this morning?
I am amazing. I'm just going to do a sound check on Facebook to make sure we're good. Okay, I
Okay.
can hear myself. Yes, yes, yes. So that's a great thing. I appreciate you getting up this morning to have some coffee with me and to have a little chat and to enlighten. Oh, you got yours too. That's what I'm talking about. To enlighten our audiences on how they can get into real estate investing with zero moolah, baby.
I love the energy. I love it.
Sheila, tell people a little bit about yourself. You know, we come from the same neck of the woods. Give a little brief introduction about yourself and what you do.
Well, as she told you guys, my name is Sheena Mullins, and they call me the Wholesale Queen because that is how I got started in the real estate industry and the real estate space. However, wholesaling real estate is just one strategy of several that we can use to tap into real estate without cash up front, if any at all. You can tap into the market by learning the wholesaling method, which is what Sue has me on here for to talk about. Wholesaling allows you to find properties at a deeply discounted price. And then, if you are not in the space to purchase it yourself, you can then get it over to a buyer, which is an investor, a cash buyer, and then you profit off of the deal by getting the discounted deal over to them. And in terms, if you do that 3, 4, 5 times back to back, you can get some fast, serious cash. And that is how you tap into that space. That's just a little bit of how you can get started in doing wholesaling.
So talk to me now. How long have you been in this space wholesaling?
Since about early 2019, 2018, 2019.
So you know you are the real deal because we are past COVID 19, and
Yeah.
you're still in it because you know a lot of people got into a bunch of stuff during that time and started courses and boom, they're gone now. You know, but you've been
Yes,
doing
they
it since
are.
2019. I've seen
Early
people
2018. So I started
20.
in 2018. I didn't establish myself. You have that fear of failing. I started in 2018 before COVID, and I took off in 2019.
Come on, somebody, have you landed the jet yet? Are you still in the air?
I'm in the air, baby.
I can feel it in the air.
I'm in the air. I'm still in the air. But yes, I established, if you see my merch, it says established 2018. I did my first wholesale deal in 2018. And then it took off from October of 2018 all the way through the 2019. I didn't start doing courses, I believe, until early 2021.
Mm.
Um, people kept asking, and you always have a fear of, wanting to be proper and correct when you're teaching people. So of course, I didn't want to get out there and say I was a queen of this thing, but the people gave me the name, so I took it. So hey.
Wow. You know, it's so crazy. I had you at a conference that we did in King Street, South Carolina, and I learned that we're actually from the same area. And it's crazy. I know your people. I went to school with them, and you went to school with my little brothers and sisters. And I just started noticing you on social media a few years back, how you were in and out of attorney offices closing loans and on jets and stuff like that. And I was like, who is this girl? And I reached out to you and you did me the honor of coming and speaking to my audience and telling them how to get into wholesale. And we signed up for your class. I said we, because I was so intrigued. I signed up, and it's a really awesome technique to get into real estate with little to no money. And what I love about it is a lot of people start out this way to start investing in properties because, as you know, I invest in properties to buy and hold as well as buy and sell. I love the old beat up properties that can barely stand up. I love breathing life back into them and having it set up for a family to come into. But it's a great method that you have with the wholesale to be able to get into that and grow your money to parlay into other things, whether it be to buy a primary investment home or to buy other investment properties. And welcome, Leola. She is one of your esteemed students. She's done some amazing things. So has Dr. Tracy Boykin Levine. Those are two of your amazing students. They've done some amazing things in the field of wholesaling. Now let's talk about this. Tell me about your first deal, right? You're green. You don't know what to do. Walk me through that. Walk me how you got into it. Walk me how you found the deal. Walk me through how much money you made off of it.
So my first deal, guys, and I'll take it back. I went to real estate school. I was in real estate school. I did the whole 9 to 5 for a week and a half, ever how many days that was. And the night before my class test, I stumbled upon wholesaling. I went back to class. There was a guy sitting beside me, and he said, "Hey, I'm just here to take this class. I don't want to pay an agent." He's like, "I'm going to sell my storage facility off market." So I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "It's wholesaling." I was like, "Well, I just learned about wholesaling last night." And he was like, "Yeah, it's so much money doing that. You know, having the real estate license is just a plus if this is something you want to do." So I really took my test, passed it, aced it. And I got my first deal from sitting in a coffee shop, and someone heard me talking on the phone and said, "Hey, I heard you said that you're trying to get some properties or something." And I ended up talking to the investor, and he didn't want the house. He was a real estate agent, but an investor, and he didn't want the property. So he was like, "Do you think you can find somebody to sell?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" I mean, but of course, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a contract. I didn't know anything. So here is why I say having a mentor is important, and why I needed one, but I didn't know enough to even say I need a mentor. I left about $26,000 on the table. Okay. When I closed on my first deal, it was $5,250. If you search through my social media, you'll see that was my first deal. I talk about that deal. I'll never forget that deal.
Wow.
But I did not know what I was doing. On my contract to date, I didn't even put earnest money deposit, but the person didn't know any better. So of course they went along with it. The attorney didn't even catch it. So at that point, as I'm looking back, I'm like, this deal wasn't even legally binding. Like, they could have backed out at any moment because I didn't have an EMD. So, earnest money deposit is usually used to make it, legally binding. And at that point, my deal was not legally binding. So when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars and making 10, 20, 30, $40,000 as an assignment fee, that could have turned into a big loss not having earnest money deposit. So that is why we need mentors. That is why, the things that I can show you that I made mistakes on, you don't have to go to YouTube to spend hours and hours on end to watch these people video who's just trying to sell you something at the end. Anyway, so that's kind of where I come in at. And trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of wins, and I have a lot of success stories. However, it is about the things that I did not know and how I can show you to skip past those processes and put steps into place. And for anything in the world that I can provide to you, consistency is what wins in this industry.
Oh my goodness, that is so true. The compound effect. It's all about consistency, doing things over and over and over again. It adds up. I recommend you guys get that book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. A really easy read, a great read. So you said, if I heard you correctly, you made $5,250 on your first deal?
$5,250.
And how much of your money did you put into it?
I put zero in. I networked. I talked. And after that, I was like FloJo out there. I was talking to everybody who would listen. And that is how I got my first deal. I put $0 in. I was friendly. I made a connection. And I will tell you, what took my business to the next level wasn't COVID-19. It was me networking, mixing, mingling, and talking to people about my business. So Brent Daniels, shout out to you. I don't know this guy personally, but when he came up with Talk to People, it is the best business model. I love it.
Wow. Can you break that down, that business model, in like 60 seconds, what it means?
talk to people.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar with wholesaling or the real estate investing space, okay, you need to get into rooms where there are other people. You need to be obviously friends with people like Suham that know how to do loans. You need to be friends with real estate agents. So people think that real estate agents and realtors are our competitions. Right now, I'm working a 50-door apartment community in Greensboro, North Carolina. It is off market, but guess who I'm working it with? A real estate agent. She called me. She has an off market buyer. So the more you network with people, the more you actually get out and network, tell people what you do, more people will come because we are helping people that cannot actually move their home due to repairs, foreclosure, things like that. So if people don't know what you do, how are you gonna get the properties? Now there's some marketing and advertising that you could do, but that costs money. And if you don't have thousands of dollars up front, you got to go the old school way.
Old school way never fails, man. Face to face, talking to people, it never ever fails because your business gets out by word of mouth. If social media were to go away today, people still have their mouths. They still know how to speak words, and hopefully they speak kindly of you and share your business with others. Come on, somebody.
Like you have.
Well, that's because one thing about me is I don't mind sharing great content. I don't mind sharing people who are absolutely the truth. And I stand behind you, Sheena Mullins, aka the Wholesale Queen. Now listen, we've learned about your first deal, how you made $5,250 without zero money invested. Tell us about your biggest deal to date.
My
Biggest deal
biggest deal to date was $98,000 commission. 98. And right now I'm that's the biggest to date. But this real estate agent that I'm partnering with and I'm JVing with, for those of you that don't know what that means, that's a joint venture. That's a term that we use when we're in the space. I'm looking in, excuse me, I'm going to, she said we'll be closed before December 31st. So that
so
would be almost a $300,000 assignment.
So Christmas is at your house this year.
Christmas is at my house. Let's do it.
$300,000. You don't have any money invested in the deal.
None. Just phone calls, emails, communication, consistency, and talking back and forth between two people, the seller and the interested buyer.
So you're in the middle. You're the wholesale queen. You talk to the seller. You connect them to the buyer. You put your fee on top of what the seller wants to sell it for. At the closing, the seller gets the property. You get your fee in the middle, and then the buyer gets what they asked for. Sounds like a win-win-win situation.
It's a win-win. And the greatest part is a lot of people ask, well, do they care what you make? Some people do, but when your contracts is set up properly, everybody's working and people don't work for free. So because of my connections to the two, that's what the deal is valued at. That is what I value it at. And if they had to pay a real estate agent to actually come and perform, it would be a lot more than that.
You know, so here's the thing. I'm so glad you said that. Nobody is working for free. Everybody. That's why I said it's a win-win-win situation. And it has to be that way in order for things to continue to process over and over and over again. No one wants to feel like they're slighted. And if everybody's winning, hey, that once the deal is completed, you're like, okay, let's go find another one. Let's because you want to be like DJ Khaled. All we do is win.
No matter what. No matter what. And so, you know, that's the glory of this. You know, there are wins, but then there are situations where we're not just winning, we're closing and we're shedding tears and we're crying because of the situations that we actually help. We have pre-foreclosure deals where the owners are gonna get nothing from the deal. They're walking away with zero because when the bank forecloses, as you know, they have modifications they can do. They can do, you know, they can give them opportunity to save it. But the bottom line when you're dealing with pre-foreclosures is that if a seller doesn't have the money to pay the bank, they're going to lose their home. And guess what? Their credit is ruined. Now they're not in a position to get another home. But where I come in at and where we come in at, where the investors come in at, is we can save these homes. And now the bank doesn't lose. The economy isn't bad. The actual seller's credit is now savage and they can go get a new home. So we do tons of pre-foreclosures and tax properties where we save properties as well. So it's not just about us going and getting the almighty check all the time. Sometimes we do deals and I make, $5,000, $6,000 on it, but it was about actually saving a property.
Come
So we
on
do
now.
those.
I love that perspective. I love that angle of it as well. And so I'm gonna be very honest with you. I never even thought about that in the wholesaling world. So that's really, really a great angle. Tell me something. How we learned that you're finding properties by networking. Talking to people. What are other ways that you find properties to be able to connect to sellers?
I actually drive for dollars. Once you get into this space, it's just kind of like when you buy a new car. You didn't notice the car until you had the car. But now that I'm in this space and I work this space, and this space is what provides for me and my daughter, when I see houses that look like it fits the description, broken glass, tall grass, it just looks abandoned. I write down that address, I bring it back home. And when I bring it back home and I look it up in my system, that's a special system that I give you that we use over in my mentorship. I am able to find out the details on this property, such as, is it upside down in equity? Is it in pre-foreclosure? Do they owe any taxes? And if it's vacant, I use the system to skip trace and call the owner and ask them simply, hey, Sue, are you interested in selling your home? I saw that it's abandoned.
Why, yes, I am. What price did you have in mind?
Well, considering that, the roof has a tarp on it and it looks like it's in need of some repairs, I would have to make an offer contingent on what you tell me now. If I gave you my Home Depot card today, what would you repair on the house?
It's gonna probably need about $25,000 in repairs.
Okay, 25,000. I have ran some comps, but contingent on my walkthrough, I will be able to give you an offer of about 75,000 if all goes well, if I walk through the property. And this is just what we do when we make this phone call. Sue just did a quick impromptu role play with me, and she knows how it goes. But that's what we do. We assess the number. We give fair offers. So yes, make no mistake, the wholesale queen makes money off of deals, and I want all of the people that want to be successful to make money off these deals. But what people don't point out is that while we're making money, we are also saving properties, we're saving homeowners homes. So don't just look at the money that we're making. Look at what we do in the community. These abandoned homes that would cause infestations and rodents and the community to look back, we're saving these properties on a day-to-day basis. So I'm glad that we're able to open this platform and shine light on exactly what wholesaling do, because we have people that out in the industry that are unethical, and they just think that, we're out getting people for their equity. Well, it's not equity theft when they're going to have zero when they walk away. They're going to have ruined credit. They're going to lose their home that they've been in for 25 years and they can't do anything.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, because in every industry we have unethical people. I'm a mortgage broker, do loans. And because there are unethical people, that's why things change after the mortgage crash. Now you have to be licensed to do this. Where before you could just jump on the bandwagon and ride out. But now you got to be licensed. There are all kind of laws in place to where if you're breaking the laws, you get fined, you can lose your license. So potentially jailed. So we can't lump everybody together. And so I love the fact that you are shedding light on the ethical wholesalers that exist out there. Now, you are the wholesaler. You've told us some ways. There are different ways that you identify buyers, but tell us, how do you get sellers? Because at the end of the day, you're the person, you're almost like the preacher who is marrying two people, right? That's how I want to analyze it. You're the preacher and you're marrying the buyer and the seller. You've told us how to find the buyer. What are some ways that you connect with sellers to actually make this transaction complete?
Well, we talked about finding the sellers.
I'm sorry, the sellers. Yes, let's talk
Yes.
about. See, you listening? You on?
Yeah. So the sellers is what we talk about. That's when we do the driving for dollars and we find these abandoned homes that the sellers are in need of selling due to repairs or whatever. So in order to find buyers, here's this thing again. I like to talk to people. So that's one way, one free, easy way. You talk to people. Now, everybody is not a people person. Everybody doesn't get out and want to go to meetings and mingle and talk. So we have systems in place that we can go tap into, log into, and we can find investors. And it pops up as a cash buyer, a deemable cash buyer. You can see what they've purchased. And although the purchases are off market, it is recorded as a cash buy. Okay. So let's say I'm inside of the software and I pull up a property. In that area, it's going to say we have 700 cash buyers that may be interested in this area. I click on it. I start to look down the list. I look at the size of the portfolio, and I'm talking you can have a $200,000 portfolio or a $20 billion portfolio.
Mm.
The system is unlimited as to what you can do. So when people get into this program and they don't win or they don't have the success that they're looking for, it is truly because they're not working it. They're not being consistent. And this business pays. I would not be on here talking about it if it didn't. So in the system, you're able to actually look up cash buyers as well as sellers, and you connect the dot. So the only thing that we can do is win in this, people. We can put two people together that need each other, just like she said, and marry these people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, you're an ordained minister now, and you receive cash benefits after the union.
Yes.
You
That
know,
was a great way to put that.
great analogy, huh? That was just downloaded to me. So okay, use it. You got permission to use that.
Yes, I'll use it. Look, don't be a little shy if you see me start saying I'm the ordained host.
Come on, somebody.
I
So
like
listen,
it.
Sheena, I love it because a lot of people reach out to me about, Sue, how do I get into real estate investing? And a lot of times what I do, it requires money. And so I'm like, if you don't have money, what I do recommend is that you start with wholesaling. So I'm always sending people back your way because it's such a great thing. And I know a lot of your students have really, really benefited from. Can you share some of the wins some of your students have benefited from?
Yes, absolutely. So my first student, who was a student that was not a paid student, they were a free student, and I still will do anything in the world to help. My first student got a $12,000 deal. We did it in 9 days. Then after that, it took him a long 11 months to close a deal. But when he closed, it was for a mobile home park. That was a big win, $70,000. So I think we did a $35,000 JV split. Then my next student, who is the most successful to date, he does it at his leisure because he's created other businesses from this. He closed $30,000 with me in actually 2 weeks.
Wow.
Um, and we went on to close other deals together. He started taking my deals, bringing the buyers to me. So that is when you start to see collaboration at its best. I've had other students that went on to close land deals, and I have students that don't even tell me. Like, I'll talk to them and they don't post in the group as much because they're out working their business. I had one student that made $71,000 on the deal out of Maryland, and he's killing it. He had a 750 year last year.
Wow. Wow. And this is what I like to tell people. I'm like, one deal could change your life for the whole year. You don't have to quit your job. I always tell people, if you love your job, keep going to your job. You can do one real estate deal, one real estate investment deal, and change your life and be able to just do so many other different things. So
Absolutely, you can.
I stand wholeheartedly. This podcast is not to sell Sheena's mentorship, but I got to tell you, I stand wholeheartedly behind mentorship. I've always said it saves you headaches and it saves you from losing your hair because you're benefiting from someone who has walked the walk. And one thing I like about you, you're continuing to walk the walk. You're still in the game. You know, wholesaling is an amazing avenue to be able to get in and to ramp up your savings, to be able to, like you said, parlay it into other business ventures, which some of your students have done. So do you think that you would ever stop wholesaling?
I don't think so. Who in the world would pass by a good enough deal? Like, here's the thing. Again, so the more the people understand the better. Wholesaling is one strategy of many. So when you go through a mentorship, and this again, this is about education, you guys. This isn't about selling it. Um, this is about you understanding what you can do, because sometimes you got to do the things that you don't want to do to get to where you want to be. So if wholesaling is that way, do it. Do it and open the businesses that you dream of. But it does so much more when you're able to save people homes, when you're able to actually take a house that you're driving by in your community that has been vacant and abandoned for so long, and now y'all see Sue out in the community. She's doing the thing out there. Like, she is turning old homes into beautiful homes and family homes. So I love the fact that whenever I close a deal, it is always so meaningful. No one deal is the same. And I learn something every single time, because when you start working the deals, this is what I tell everybody: your true test happens after your mentorship. When you start working, like Leola, I'm not sure if she's still in the chat. I can't see anybody, but Leola took off by herself, and she made calls as necessary. And the next thing you know, she showed up with a win, walking into the bank, walking into the closing table. And that is a definition of someone that stayed consistent no matter how many no's she got. That's why, although she was with me a short time, I gave her an award last year, because I saw the dedication in her. I saw the entrepreneurship in her, and I saw the drive that she has, and she's still successful, and she's still determined to actually win at this. She understands what wholesaling is. But guys, we do so many other things where, for example, we do creative finance, we do seller finance, and those are, again, other strategies where you need zero to little cash to actually get the deal and get it. So this isn't just about you moving the property. The end goal is to own real estate if you want to become
Yes.
that guru that you see posted all over social media and TikTok. Owning the real estate is what's going to get you the actual liquidity that you want, and that's how you become successful. So I'm sure you got some property out there that you can tell them about, but isn't it about owning the real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I sell some of my real estate is because I want that liquidity to parlay into other business ventures and other things that I want to do. But I also own real estates where I have tenants, and that's money coming in every month, and then the tenants are paying down the mortgage, which increases my equity, which AKA increases my net worth, and that's a great thing. So you definitely want to, like I said, wholesaling is a great way to get some money to parlay into other things, because it's most people that start out with investing, that's what they do. They start out with wholesaling, and I wish I had known about it when I first started. I had no idea, no clue about it. I'm like, what is wholesaling? And then I started watching you, and I'm just like, where's this lady going? Why is this lady always holding the check? Why is she, this and that? And then I started, doing the research. I'm like, wow, she's the real deal. So many people know you, so many different investors, buyers. And I was looking at how you're connecting to sellers, and I'm watching how you calling people and making offers, and they're taking you up on it. Because at the end of the day, if that house is sitting, deteriorating and rotting, and nothing's going to be done with it, you are actually like making somebody's day by calling them and saying, hey, I'll offer you this if you want me to take it off your hands. And especially if they haven't paid taxes in 2 or 3 years, they're going to lose it anyways. So why not?
That is the tea. Like, people are not realizing that if a person is paying taxes on something that they cannot use, they stop seeing the value in the property, okay? Or again, they lose the property due to non-payment of taxes. So we get those too. I actually did one just about a month ago where the lady owed back taxes, and I mean, they were high. She could not afford to pay it. So we helped her.
What was your profit on that deal?
$24,000.
Wow. And now, how long did you work on that deal from inception to closing?
3 days.
Are you freaking kidding me? So, and that's one great thing about $24,000. Do you know that I know some people in Williamsburg County that barely make $25,000, and you made it in? Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Let me shine light on that. So the reason that happened so quickly, and again, guys, if I did not have a little bit of expertise in this, I would have not been able to move. You know how many of my students get deals? They don't call. They don't know to. They don't know what to look for. So in a situation like that, you have got to be able to move fast, and you have got to have you need the connections in order to pull it off. Okay. In some cases, can I take my own cash, and buy the properties? Yes, that one wasn't one that I wanted. However, I knew who wanted that property. So in that situation, we do have to pull title. We do have to make sure that these things are clean beyond that. So we know what's on the lien. That would have been the taxes. And we needed to pull title. So that is where your attorney and your title offices come in at. Sue can tell you a lot about that. They have to make sure that that is clear before closing. So in that case, when you have that relationship with that attorney office or that title company, you can say, hey, I have a deal. I need to move fast. What do we need to do? Because now my attorney office, not only do they pull and do a thorough check, they go 40 years back. Okay. So if anything happens, that title is insured for that buyer. So I needed to move very, very fast and make it happen in 72 hours, because the fourth day would have been the day that the house was taken from her.
Gotcha. So once again, it goes back to establishing relationships. So where do you primarily operate out of, Sheena? What states?
So I actually don't discriminate as long as it's a deal. And I try to operate Georgia, Florida, North Carolina. Now I'm opening up to Ohio and Michigan. I like those states. And I've done deals in Maryland, Philly, Arizona. So if the deal is right, I always tell you this: focus on getting a good deal, and your buyers will come out of the woodwork. So
Right.
it's about having a good deal.
And I always say, with real estate investing, whether you're buying houses to rent or to sell, or you're buying a house to live in as your primary, it's always a great time to buy real estate if the freaking deal is right. Point blank and the period. It doesn't matter what the rate, if you're buying a primary house, what the rate is at right now, or the
Mm-hmm.
pricing. Doesn't matter for wholesaling, what nothing, none of that. It's always a great time to buy real estate if it's a great deal, point blank in the period. And so you may say, well, what is a great deal? Well, when it comes to wholesaling, that's why you need to find a good mentor. When it comes to buying a property to live in, that's why you need to do your education beforehand and find a good realtor and a good mortgage broker. Ding 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 ding. And you make those things happen.
Absolutely.
I want to take 2 minutes, because we've been on here now about 33 minutes, and it's a little I told you I wasn't going to keep you beyond 20 minutes, but I want to take about 3 minutes and just open it up to the chat. Anybody has any questions, don't be shy. You got to be ready. All right, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. If you got any questions for Sheena, go ahead and type it in right now, and we're going to answer that. I'm so glad that you guys have joined us this morning at 7:30 a.m. Sheena, while they are putting their questions in, can you tell people how to reach out to you, how they can find your mentorship and just connect with you?
Yes, so I am on all platforms as Learn with the Wholesale Queen. That's on Instagram. My name is Sheena Mullins on Facebook, but it's also Learn with the Wholesale Queen, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm on all those platforms. In my bio is my link, and you can click into it if you want to have a consultation with me. You can do that. I have ebooks, I have coursework books. So if you want to reach out to me and actually talk to me, you can click that link in my bio. Listen, mentorship is something that you need to invest in yourself. And I believe that once you have a good mentor, your success will come if you just stay the course and stay consistent, and you're able to actually understand what you're doing. And the biggest part about why mentorship is great is because you're not taking someone else's livelihood and taking chances with it. So that is what we do when we don't know what we're doing. We're taking chances with someone's investment that they've been in for their life for 25 years of their lives. It's the biggest investment. As Sue can tell you, homes are the biggest investments that people invest in. And when someone says they're about to lose their home to the bank and they don't have but a certain amount of time, we don't want someone playing and pretending that they know what they're doing. We want you to know what you're doing so that you can both be successful and make money, and you can help these people.
Absolutely. All right. So we got a question. Listen, guys, we got about 2 more minutes with the Queen of Wholesale. So drop your questions in the chat. Shantae Marshall says, hi, I'm a realtor in South Carolina, branching out. Hey, realtor, branching out to the investor side, looking for flips in Florence, Greensboro, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Do you have upcoming contracts waiting to be assigned for those areas?
So I have not Florence, but I do have a deal in Lake City, South Carolina that I just got last night. So I do get deals. Like, I'll get people putting deals in my inbox. Some of them I'm able to look at, some of them I can't. But if you send me a message and send me those areas, I can definitely put it on my radar. And if something comes up, some of the students are in the group, you guys. That's a potential investor. And guys, no gatekeeping over here, okay? We want everybody to win that's around us. So Leola or anybody else that's one of my students that's on here, she's looking for property. So that is the opportunity for you to work with her as well. But send me a DM with those counties and cities and states that you listed, and I'll be glad to send you any deals that we get. But I have one for Lake City, South Carolina, that would be Florence County, that I just got last night.
So let me ask you this. Your Facebook group, is that open to the public or is that just for students?
So my Facebook group happens to be only for my my students that are in my mentorship. However, I do have options for a different community. It is a monthly subscription if they want to join that subscription, and they'll get to do 2 lives with me per week in an open setting. So that's something that we just created as of about 3 weeks ago. So we're still rolling out the details, but that is a option for people that want to just, kind of work with me here and there when they got time. So that's an option.
All right, guys, come on. If you got any more questions for Sheena Mullins, go ahead and ask them on the live, or if you prefer to connect with her offline, like how she does the off-market deals, you can do that on Facebook via DM. Sheena, make sure you be checking your spam messages now, because a lot of times when people DM you and you're not your friends, it'll go there. So Frederica Stone says, I have properties for sale and would love to know if you would be interested in adding flips.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand the...
I'm not sure I understand that either, but maybe
are there properties that you're flipping? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what she's saying. So maybe I think that's what she's saying. So maybe she's asking, can you connect her to a buyer?
Oh, of course. Yes, I can. That is what I do. I connect sellers to buyers. I absolutely can.
She joins them hand in hand in holy matrimony. She is now the ordained queen of wholesaling. Shantae Marshall said, thank you. That's the one who asked a question about the realtor. You guys connect with Shantae. She's a realtor. Jasing says, thank you both for this great information. Sheena, I will be reaching out. Awesome sauce. Leola, one of your esteemed students, says, I'm a wholesaler in Winston-Salem in Triad area, trained under Sheena. So awesome sauce. Sheena, I want to thank you so much for taking time to come on this morning for the coffee chat. And that's exactly what this is. We're just talking, man. We're just sharing information, just talking. And matter of fact, guys, do us a favor, share the broadcast. Don't be stingy with this information. Share the broadcast so your audience can see it. Sheena, before we leave, once again, tell people how to connect with you.
Okay, everybody, I'm Sheena Mullins. You can find me on all platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn as Sheena Mullins, and under The Wholesale Queen, or Learn with the Wholesale Queen. Sue, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. As I told everybody on one of my lives the other night, when you call, I will come, okay? No matter what season, no matter what time. Look, my daughter had to be to school this morning. I was like, you got to get out of here early some way, somehow. Get out of here. Sue's calling. I got to get on this live. And she's like, but Mom, I'm like, yeah, you got to go. I called you a ride this morning. So she was excited. But y'all, Sue is a wealth of information. It is always a pleasure to come on, and I appreciate you giving me your platform and sharing, and always sharing my name and my content. And I love collaboration. You guys, find you someone in your space that you can collaborate with, that you can work with. And Sue is that lady. If you're looking for loans, reach out to her. She's going to do it the right way. She's going to be consistent, and she's going to be adamant about making sure you guys get to the closing table. So I love that about her.
I appreciate that. Let me throw this book out there. You guys grab this free book. Go to my website, loanswithsuham.com. Go ahead, go grab it, loanswithsuham.com. I totally appreciate that.
I'll get it today, Sue.
Awesome sauce. I totally appreciate you, Sheena. Blessings to everyone watching this broadcast, whether you're watching it live or you're catching on the replay. Make sure you go check out Sheena Mullins. This girl is the real deal. Not Evander Holyfield, but the real deal wholesale queen. Until next time, I'm Solandia Hammond, aka Suham, baby, with loanswithsuham.com, powered by Edge Home Finance. Guess what? We out. We about to do. We out, ya. Mwah. Peace.
Bye.